to work, and I'ma gauge my progress by the sign of the word. Now I ain't yet a success, but yes, the word that I stress, cause by the time you hear the
cause all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up, and they stay there. Yo, yes, this is, once again, another edition of Make It Happen Mondays. Scratch that, reverse it. Check this out. My name is Pablo Rivera, and this is another edition of Make It Happen Mondays. Yo, check this out. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I have decided to rejoice and be glad in it. You know what I'm saying? So listen, I'm hoping that you have decided to do the same thing, right? To rejoice and be glad in this day. It's Monday, right? And listen, everybody's like, oh, case of the Mondays. And I'm hoping that you're starting to get the idea that we flipping that, right? Just like I had to flip the beginning of this intro here, right? Where I said the name of what we are before I said who I am. You know what I'm saying? We flipping it, right? Monday is the day that we dig deep, we get energized, we get motivated, and we set the course for the rest of the week, right? So I know that we're starting to get towards the end of January. And I know that a lot of y'all had a whole bunch of New Year's resolutions and all that, right? And again, we are just being resolute in the pursuit of our goals, right? And that's what it is. That's how we set our intentions, right? So I've been talking to some people here, and I hear a lot of, oh, I can't, or oh, no, I'm not going to do that now. And I've been talking about that in my motivational moments throughout the week, right? So today we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what it is that is giving you anxiety. What is it that's making you nervous, right? What is it that's making you feel as though you can't, right? And then we're going to talk about how it is that we can combat that, right? And I alluded to a lot of it during the week, but we're gonna dig in a little bit more today, and I'm gonna try to be a little bit faster for y'all so that y'all can listen to it maybe on your way to work or whatever, over your morning cup of coffee, and you can shut it off and then go ahead and take that motivation and inspiration that hopefully you got today, and then continue on for the rest of the week, right? All right, so check this out, right? I've been talking to some people here, at least around here, midterms have passed, right? They just passed, right? And I was talking to some people, one of them being my son, right? And he was like, yo, I'm actually excited for one of these tests, right? And I was like, oh, word? That's what's up. Why? What's up? And he was like, yo, I think I'm going to do pretty good on it. And I was like, man, yo, I mean, I didn't tell him that. But I told him I was happy for that, right? But to me, that was music to my ears, man. You know what I mean? Because I'm ready. I think I'm ready for that. That means that's a whole lot of stuff in that statement. I think I'm ready for it, right? I mean, that alone is a message. You know what I'm saying? And anyway, so then the day came and he was like, yo, I'm ready for it. But you know what? I'm a little bit nervous, too. So I was like, all right, well, what you nervous about? And he was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to get a good grade or not. And I was like, well, that's cool. But, it's all right. So we started talking about what it was that he was a little bit nervous about. You know what I mean? So let me back up a little bit and move directions, So I started talking to a couple other people about how I started to join jujitsu, and they was like, oh, yeah, I would do that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a little bit older and, I got this bad, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, no, I hear you, And then I got somebody else who is starting a business, and they like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I want to do it, but I get a little bit worried and da-da-da-da-da. And I got a couple people who are going through some relationship issues, you know what I'm saying? Not just necessarily with their girl or their wife or anything like that, but like relationship issues with other people in their family or friends that they got, you know what I'm saying? So that's a lot. That's a lot of the reasons why that I've been talking about these type of things, and specifically they said in the beginning of the year that they're going to change it. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, so take all of those things, and if I didn't mention any of your particular situations, you know what I'm saying? Just enter your situation here, right? Because that's what it is that we're talking about. What situation is it that you're in that you originally intended to do better at, right? That you've identified as an area and opportunity in your life, and now all of a sudden you kind of backpedaling a little bit from it, right? We're going to find out why, right? So what I found out is, I was listening to them, you know what I mean? They was like, yo, man, what if I put myself out there and she just ain't trying to be with me anyway? You know what I mean? Or what if I go ahead and I quit my job and I become an entrepreneur full time and now all of a sudden I can't make ends meet? You know what I mean? What if I go and I take this test and I end up failing it? What if I apply for this job and all of a sudden a month later another job comes up and now all of a sudden I'm stuck because, you know what I'm saying, blah, blah, blah. So, and I was like, all right, bet. So what is it exactly that's making them feel that way, right? And they was like, they nervous, right? They building up their anxiety, you know what I mean? So I was like, all right, well, one of them, I said, had that watch me make it happen in them, right? And I appreciated it. Now, I don't know if they necessarily had that in them 100%, but then again, who really does, right? Motivation and inspiration is fleeting, right? It's like, rah, rah, rah. But then after that, okay, what happens? Look, I'll tell you what, is that I got some people who I've seen who talk a good game about their jujitsu. You know what I mean? Who talk a good game about their business. Who even talk a good game about their relationship with their wives or their kids. And really, I don't really know if they talk is equaling what it is that they doing. You know what I mean? So like, and listen, I like bringing things back to jujitsu or any type of combative type of things, right? Because there's really no room for discussion. You know what I'm saying? Like I can go up on the mat and be like, yo, I'm nice, kid. I'm nice. Watch this. And then boop, boop, boop. Next thing you know, I'm on the mat counting the lights on the ceiling. You know what I mean? Or even worse, I'm passed out and I ain't seeing no lights whatsoever because they got that choke on me, right? So the thing is that talking about it is one thing, going through it and actualizing it is another, right? So I think to myself, I'm like, all right, well, this person who had to watch and make it happen in them, right? They went ahead and they started talking, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then I was like, that's cool, man. You know what I mean? What is the opposite of nervousness, right? What is the opposite of anxiety? You know what I'm saying? And because I think you exercising that right now, I told them, and they were like, "Oh, well, that's and we really couldn't get to an answer for that, right?" So I suggested, I was like, "Yo, is it the absence of fear, right? Is your anxiety, is your stress, is your nervousness, is that fear? You know what I mean? Are you scared of it?" And they were, we had a little bit of a discussion. I ain't scared of nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't scared. So we started talking about it, and I was like, well, okay, well, look it, check it out. Let's say you opened up your heart and your soul and you gave it to this girl, right? And what are you worried about? And they was like, well, you know what I'm saying? What if she don't like me back? Or what if she don't really care? Whatever. And I was like, yeah, nah, I got it, right? That's a fear. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, word. So then I talked to the other person about the entrepreneurship, and I was like, all right, so what is it that's worrying you? What is it that's giving you anxiety? And they were like, yo, I got a wife and kids and a family. You know what I'm saying? Like if my money stops coming in, I'm up the river, up the river without a paddle. You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, okay, so that's a fear. You know what I mean? Like we let's not get it twisted. You know what I mean? I mean, like when you in going through an addiction, you know what I mean? They say that the first thing you need to do is accept it. You know what I mean? You need to say, I'm an addict. You know what I mean? So let's admit where it is that we are with our stress, with our anxiety, and with these insecurities that we have. They're fears. You feel me? So, all right, bet. So now we know where we are, right? We got a fear. So listen, whatever it is that's making you worried, stressed, anxious, whatever it is, know that that's a fear. You feel what I'm saying? That is a fear. So then I said, all right, cool. Well, then what's the opposite of fear? You know what I mean? And the dude was like, bravery. And I was like, okay, is it though? And they said, yeah, man, if I ain't scared, yeah, of course I can go in there and do what I need to do, right? And I was like, I don't know if that's the opposite of fear. You know what I mean? Because I think, right, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Listen, you see what I'm trying to do, right? I ain't trying to just shove things down your throat and be like, this is what it is, damn it, listen to me, you know what I mean? Right? But my opinion is that bravery only exists because of fear, right? Listen, if I'm walking around and I ain't scared of nothing, then what is it that I need to be brave for? You know what I mean? Like bravery is doing it even though you're scared. You see what I'm saying? That's bravery. You listen, insert whatever it is that, I mean, we can sit there again. We can bring it into jujitsu, into grappling or some type of physical altercation. You know what I'm saying? I told you I'm not scared going into jujitsu, you know what I mean? Because I have an understanding of what's going on, you know what I mean? And not necessarily I got skills understanding, but like I understand that it's a learning process. There's a learning curve there, you know what I mean? So I don't think I'm gonna go in there and get my butt kicked to the point where I'm just straight up out of commission. Like, yeah, I'm probably gonna get my butt kicked, you know what I mean? I'm probably gonna get slammed, I'm probably gonna get arm locked, probably gonna get choked, probably gonna get insert whatever crazy jiu-jitsu move that you could possibly imagine here, you know what I mean? It's going to happen to me, right? But it's a controlled environment and I'm good to go. But there is a little bit of fear there, you know what I mean? Why? Because I'm 46 years old. I ain't no spring chicken like I used to be, you know what I'm saying? So there's certain, I've been telling y'all, my neck, my back, right? I got my pinky. I don't know if you can tell the difference, you know what I mean? But I got my pinky that's swollen all up, right? So yes, there's a little bit of fear there, right? But the fact that I've been picking myself up every day and going to these trainings, I'm not gonna lie to you, it ain't every day, right? But I'm saying all the time that I'm able to go, which is definitely every week, I've been getting some sort of injury and I go in there with a little bit of fear. And every day I could put on this little cloak of bravery. You know what I'm saying? My name is Pablo Rivera. Watch me make it happen. And I can go in there and face my fears. And that, my friends, is bravery, right? So cool. Let's now take it out of the combative measures, you know what I mean, and bring it into your life, right? What is it that you are scared of about this test? And it's like, well, maybe it's because, you know what I'm saying, I don't really know it all. And I said, okay, well, that makes sense, right? So granted, now you can go ahead and you can take that test and be brave, knowing that, you know what I mean, the outcome may not be what it is. But listen, let's be realistic with what it is the outcomes could possibly be, right? And then now, ain't nothing to be scared of. Listen, you may fail. Yep, you may fail. And that's exactly what you're scared of. Okay, cool. So again, during this week, I started telling you what is it that you can do. Imagine what those outcomes are, right? And prepare for them. You know what I mean? Now, some of y'all was like, oh, what do you mean? Just imagine about what it is that can go wrong and then prepare for it. How am I supposed to know what can go wrong? It's your life. It's your life. You know what can go wrong. Come on, man. If you go, it is exactly what you're scared of. You're just sitting here talking about, oh, I'm a little bit stressed. I got a little bit of anxiety. I'm a little nervous because of X. But you don't want to sit there and say, that's the possibility. There's your imagination. You know what I mean? Your imagination is telling you what it is that can go wrong. Now, it ain't just, a unicorn could possibly pass down an elephant that's flying. Nah, I'm talking about how does it apply to you? They told me, right? They are fearful that what? Imagine now that their business doesn't provide the cash flow that they're looking for, and all of a sudden they can't provide for their family the way they need to, right? There's the fear. Great. Okay, cool. So now, let's prepare, right? So that in the future, we ain't dealing with that same type of angst. So that in the future, we ain't dealing with that same type of stress. So that in the future, we ain't dealing with that same type of nervousness. You see what I'm saying? So now, as far as the dude who's taking the test, I said, listen, the test is tomorrow, right? So really for this test, there ain't nothing you can really do for this particular test, right? Because all the preparation that you were supposed to do has passed, right? Now look at it two ways. If you prepared at all, then be confident in the preparation that you did, right? Because you prepared for what it is that you imagined could go wrong, right? That negative outcome, right? But you prepared for it. And now, yeah, you're still going to have a little bit of that anxiety. Yeah, you're still going to have a little bit of that fear. Yeah, you're still going to have a little bit of that nervousness. But now you have the opportunity to take that fear and be brave. Without that fear, you ain't brave. You feel me? Without that angst, you ain't brave. You feel what I'm saying? So same thing is that you scared about opening up your heart and being vulnerable, right? Okay, so then prepare for it. You know what I'm saying? Is that maybe this relationship is a lost cause. Well, I don't know, right? But maybe you can now prepare. You see what I'm saying? Listen, I think I messed up. You know what I mean? For the longest, I think I was yelling too much to my kids. You know what I mean? And I sat there and thank God my kids are still young and all that, right? But I was sitting there and I'm like, man, why am I doing that? Like me, I'm Mr. Watch and Make It Happen. I'm Mr. Positivity, inspiration and all that, right? And yet here I am not controlling myself to the level that I feel I should be controlling myself, and I'm yelling. Now, listen, I'm an amped up dude. You see, I'm talking about here, and I'm not necessarily yelling. I talk loud, right? But to a child, that can be, misconstrued. You see what I'm saying? So what I did was I was able to look at myself and say, you know what? I am fearful, I am nervous that they're going to grow up and they're going to feel like, whatever it is that a child psychologist says comes from too much yelling, right? Now, again, I'll put out my book of great parenting and relationship advice, after my kids is all older and everything, I can actually point to the outcome, right? Because I'm fearful that it would not be a positive outcome. You know what I mean? So what do? Is I need to start imagining all those possible outcomes that I don't want to have happen. You know what I mean? And now what do? I prepare for them. So first thing I did, best believe the first thing I did was I put on a habit tracker, right? I put a watch me make it happen habit tracker in my notebook. And every day I was like, I'm not yelling today. And I didn't. And now I'll tell you what, I already passed the month and I was like, I threw that habit tracker away because now it is a part of me. And I'll tell you what though, is I got a great wife. And I even told my kids, if you find me yelling, let me know. Respectfully, let me know, right? And my wife will let me know. But listen, now it's a way of life. I don't need to yell. You know what I mean? What I need to do is I need to be a positive example for them so that they can follow and feel safe, right? Same thing, you opening your heart to somebody. Same thing, you starting this new business, whatever it is. Listen, it is great. It is fantastic to be nervous. It is fantastic to have anxiety. It is fantastic to be a little scared and embrace that fear, because without the fear, you will never have the opportunity to be brave. And that's what it's about, y'all. Whatever it is, insert your scenario and then imagine the outcomes that you don't want to happen, right? And then start planning and preparing, because the reason why people are self-conscious is because of lack of preparation. The reason why people are fearful is because of lack of preparation. The reason why most of us have so much anxiety over things is because of lack of preparation. So prepare, right? Prepare so that we can temper that anxiety, temper that fear, temper that nervousness, right? But still hold it, because I'm telling you, that's a motivating factor, right? Some people say that pain is a heck of a motivator. Yeah, and it doesn't need to be physical pain, right? I keep talking about the parallel to physical confrontations, because that is a physical pain and they don't need to really describe it too much. People can imagine what it feels like to get choked out. People can imagine what it feels like to bust your elbow, right? But take that. I am so thankful for fear. I'm so thankful for anxiety. I'm so thankful for being nervous, because that puts me in a position to exercise my bravery. And I know that every one of y'all, if y'all watching this video, y'all brave as anything. And you might just need a little bit of help tapping into it, right? And that's what I'm here for. Some of y'all been reaching out. And I hope that I've been being there for you and and providing you the opportunity to share, right? To be able to create the environment of friendship. I hope that we've been able to build this relationship, even if you haven't been reaching out. I'm hoping that by listening to these videos and catching my message, right, that we building that relationship. You see what I'm saying? So again, embrace the fear, embrace the anxiety, embrace the nervousness, and be blessed, and feel motivated and inspired to be able to take that fear, because without that fear, you have no opportunity to be brave. That's getting comfortable in the uncomfortable. What is it that makes you uncomfortable? It's that fear. It's that nervousness, right? Being comfortable in the uncomfortable is preparing and then using that opportunity to be brave. That's a message right there. Listen, continue with your New Year's resolution. And if you're rolling with me, you know that it's to be resolute in the pursuit of our goals. So until next week, my name is Pablo Rivera, and this is another edition of Make It Happen Mondays.
Yeah, see, I got me an idea, and I'ma put it to work, and I'ma gauge my progress by the sign of the word. Now I ain't yet a success, but yes, the word that I stress, cause by the time you hear the CD, count the steps that I've left. I'm passing all of you rappers, it's just a matter of time. Pick your jaw up off the floor when you admire my rhymes. A level head on my shoulders.